back into this day, Cowboy Nation, one way or another. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you all. Thank you. As we begin to get this thing going. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Wake up. All right, Cowboy Nation, we're going to talk a little bit about the contract talks of the offseason. We're going to look into some, Amari Cooper, the wide receiver. We're going to talk a little bit about the rookies and their development, what we need to see from them around the corner. We know that football is a long process. And in order for you to win in this game, you got to play. And that's the reality of it. Do we have guys that can play in this sport, that can elevate everybody else, and they can learn from? And I'm looking at this roster, and I'm saying to myself, man, I think that Chris Richard, with his second year, teaching these guys and developing these guys, everything will work out in those factors. I'm looking at the fact that now we have extra help for Ezekiel Elliott. I'm looking into those things that help out this team tremendously. I'm looking at it, pretty much all of these things, because every piece of the puzzle is built right now. Now we start putting them together during the, I would say this right here, during the training camps, and that's right around the corner. That's when you really feel out who's the guys that can really make this team, who's the person that can really be an impact, and if we need to go back to the drawing boards, those type of things. That's how I'm looking at it. And I want to know how you guys are looking into it. Shout out to Young Wilson, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for making the donation to help grow the nation. He says it's been a while. Hey, it's one of those things, man, whereas we try to elevate everything. This is what I want to do, too. For those who will like to jump in and leave their thoughts and leave their opinions, feel free to click the link that's in the description box, or it should be in the chat box, so that you guys can click that link. You just have to have Google Chrome, and you're able to jump live on the show as well, so we can get things going in the right direction. And we can talk about, your thoughts on this team and how you feel about the contract situations. And this is going to be an open platform. I try to keep it open platform based on the weekends, because I know that you guys like to voice your opinions, but you want to do it in other factors. I tried to call that number, but it's something wrong with my system so far. But you are able to click that link that's in the description box to jump in, to leave me your thoughts, and also leave me your opinions as well as your concerns on this team. All right, so moving a little bit further into this, the first thing that I want to say would be this right here. We have to figure out ways, and I'm going to say this again, we have to figure out ways to get these players paid. The longer you wait, the more money you're going to pay. That's just the reality. The longer you wait, the more money you will have to pay. Now, I'm with the belief that these guys are going to get their contracts regardless, but it's a conundrum, because now we're looking at it like this right here, Cowboy Nation. We're looking at it like this. If we don't figure out a way to go ahead and pay this, let me just dive right into it, right? Let me just go right over here, and we're going to look at, this is our depth chart, of course, but we're going to look over here, and we're going to see Amari Cooper. And when we pull up Amari Cooper's contract, of course, 4-year, $22 million, that was his rookie's contract. Now it's time for him to get paid his money. But we like what we call the market value. And we already know that the market value so far, from what I've spoken with on my Instagram page, is that everybody is getting paid above the market value. These are the three big dogs so far with their contracts. You got Amari Cooper, of course you have Julio Jones, and then you have your boy Michael Thomas. Shout out to the Thomas, man. $20.4 million. Now, I think his agent, he came out saying that, hey, I want $22 million. And for a moment there, I was like, what is he talking about? $22 million. That's a lot of money. Hey, Miss Jackie, appreciate you. That's a lot of chinchetta, right? That's a lot of paper. And then we looked at Julio Jones, 15.9, and then why is his smaller? Because he's a whole lot older, right? I'm thinking that Michael Thomas is about 25, 26 years old. Julio's maybe 29, 30, and Amari is a 24. Now, I do know that Amari have more experience than Michael Thomas, but, sometimes people leave out of college a whole lot sooner than others, or sometimes people have a late start. So, but that's just the nuts and bolts of everything. So we're going to look at this. We're going to look into this, right? We're going to look at the stats first, and we're going to see what garners Amari Cooper to get that type of money. All right, so he had 107 targets last year, 75 receptions, 1,000 yards, 13.4. That's what his net of how many yards he get per reception, basically. And per game is 67. I'm going to round it up. 67. 7 touchdowns and 2 fumbles, 3 drops. I know a lot of people saying, oh, Amari, you like to drop the ball. But he only had 3 drops. Now, last year, when he was playing with that Oakland Raiders or L.A. Raiders, whatever Raiders they are, he had 10 of them. And that's what, once you get the identity or once you get the, I guess what they call it, the notion that you drop balls or what have you, then it just sticks on you. But the guy, if you look at it, he only had 3 drops. And I'm not even going to give this rating here. But what I'm looking at is I like the 13.4. And I like the fact that he had 75 receptions, which is cool, out of 15 games. Remember that stat. And then we move along to Julio Jones. And we click on his market value, 15.9er. Might as well round that up to 16 million. Virginia Finest says Eagles equals the you know what? Oh, wow. Carson Gimps. You guys are going in on Carson Wentz, and we'll probably pull up his information too. But shout out to Carson Wentz, man, for getting his money. Hey, the market is always the market, right? All right, so the reason how they came up with this 15.9, let me see, I think they gave an explanation of why the salary cap is the salary cap, or not the salary cap, but the market value. Somewhere around here I read. I think that they factor in his age, basically. We selected the following players based on their age, contract status, and statistical production to compare Julio Jones to. And they compared Julio Jones to Jarvis, AJ, DeAndre Hopkins, and also Antonio Brown. But it was somewhere where I read, I think it's right over here. I don't know where it's at actually. But they talk about the fact that the reason why they look at his particular salary cap is 50. Well, keep on saying salary cap market value. Is because of his age. He's 30, for crying out loud. So you don't want to sign this man to a 5-year contract around of what Amari Cooper is getting paid, you see. And that's just the bottom line. But I'm just going to jump right on over to it, his stats or what have you, and we'll go over that. Young Wilson just signed Cooper, Dak, and Zeke. Jones after his hip regrouping. Yeah. I agree. But I'm thinking that they're just squeezing this thing out. They're trying to figure out how they can just wait to the last moment of ability. So this guy had 170 targets, 113 receptions. That's 1,677 yards, close to 2,000 yards. This is for Julio Jones last year. He had 14.8, which is not bad. And then 2017, boy, was averaging 16.4 yards, man, per reception. That is sick, man. That is crazy sick. All right, but if he's averaging 104 yards per game, that ain't bad at all. 8 touchdowns, which is good numbers, 2 fumbles, 8 drops. Now, this is the situation when you compare like the attempts opposed to drops. I didn't calculate the equations there or the numberings there, but still 8 drops out of 170 targets. That's not bad. For real. I throw you the ball 170 times. You receive 113 of them, and out of the 113 possible, 8 drops. but I'm going to give you 1,677 yards. That ain't bad at all. That ain't bad at all. And Jackie Smith, appreciate you. Richard Pryor, thank you. Law, you the king. No. You guys are the kings, and queens out there. All right, so let's look at Michael. Can anybody guess? Because I already showed you guys. $20.4 million. OMG. That's a lot of money, right? But before we look into the stats, let's look into it. And he's 26 years old. That's crazy, huh? He's 26 years old and have less than 3 years of experience. And then if you look over here, he's 25 with 4 years of experience. So, we got us a gem right here. Amari Cooper just turned 25, right? And we look into this thing. It goes from here, $20.4 million. That will be the market value, 102. And then, remember, I said earlier, every player that's signed above the market value. So that's a $20 million annual salary. You're looking at a 5-year deal. And you're also looking at the numbers of, remember when Odell Beckham got his money? It was 18. Mike Evans for, my God, he got a contract for $16 million. Brandon Cooks got that $16 million contract. DeAndre Hopkins got that $16.2 million contract. And everybody was like, oh, man, that's crazy money for wide receivers. Now there's no money. Now there's no money. Now the crazy money aspect of it is what, 20 to 22 million. That's where it's going to go. This is quarterback money, Cowboy Nation. This is quarterback money. So when you look into this, the longer you wait, when the Saints sign that ink on paper, we're going to look at it like, OMG, because we know for sure there's going to be more than $20 million, right? And that's just the reality of it. I hate to say it, but that's the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. And I'm going to post the link down in the description box. Let me know if you can click that link if you want to jump in. Just click on that link there. All right, so this is a production. Out of 147 targets, he caught 125 receptions. That is crazy. That is good numbers right there. Out of 147, 125 receptions. Now, when we start talking about systems, the last two teams that we looked at, the Atlanta Falcons and the Saints, they are a pass-first team. They're not a run-first team. They are a pass-first system. So when you start looking into the fact that this brother right here, Michael Thomas, got 125 receptions. If I do my quick math for those who out there, 125 minus 75 is 50, right? That's 50 more receptions than Amari Cooper. Put that into your mental. There's 50 more receptions than Amari Cooper. Now, when we look into these things, right, Cowboy Nation, when we start to look back into it and we start talking about the fact that, okay, this guy wanting $22 million. He wants $22 million. That's what his agent put out there. You always start out high. And I'm going to say this. We had a guy on our team named Byron Jones who locked down the Michael Thomases of the world, right? Do anybody remember that game? Young Wilson says, Law, you are one of the best out there, in my opinion, better than some pros in the business. Keep up the great work, and thank you, sir, for all that you do. Appreciate you, Young Wilson. Thank you so much, man, for the love and adulation for the channel, man. Even though I'm not considering myself the best, I'm always considering myself, when you guys are listening, to nothing but the best. There's thousands and thousands of wonderful YouTubers out there and Facebook creators and beyond. I just try to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions of the matter and of the situation. All right, so we looking back at to this Michael Thomas. What I'm looking at, which is appalling, is he's not averaging the 13 and the 14 and the 15 yards per reception like the Amari and the Julio Jones. That's 11.2. Remember, correlations does not equal causations and all that, or does not imply causation. So I'm not saying that he's trash or what have you. So he had 1,405 yards, which is cool. But if you you transpose Amari Cooper numbers into this particular system, Amari Cooper would give you around 1,600 to 1,700 yards. 9 touchdowns, 3 drops, which is cool. 9 touchdowns, 2 fumbles, 3 drops, which is cool. So I'm looking at everything, and when we start to compare and analysis and look at everything from here, all right, we got a guest in the show, man. Really appreciate you for tuning in, man. Who we got
Your
here?
brother South of Heaven 88 here. What's up? This is the Mosh Man. Good to be on Lol Nation. You guys know the deal. Hit the thumbs up, hit the likes, and do all that, and the bells. And as always, go Cowboys.
Yes, indeed. So I want to know your thoughts. I really want to know your opinion on this team. You still there?
What? Yo, yeah, I'm here. That's
You live like 95, man. Yes.
Real quick. Wow, do I make this quick? Do I make that long? Well, right off the bat, man, when we look at these Cowboys that we got here, man, we've got depth. And when I think of those 90s championships, yeah, we all know about the triplets and all that, but, man, they had some O-line depth. They had some D-line depth. And I really like what we're going here. Now, I know we can point at kicker. We can point at, man, if Dak gets injured. And, to the people that say, well, if Dak gets injured, hey, if Tom Brady gets injured, if Drew Brees gets injured, and we could name all the starting quarterbacks, I think pretty much every team would be in trouble in that situation. I really like the Cowboys this year because of the fact that, man, when I look at other teams on paper, there's not a team that I'm like scratching my head like, I don't think we can beat this team. Or, man, this team looks unbeatable. And this year, just not the case. I'm excited to come into this season. I like the lineups. I like everything we got going on here, Law. We really on paper right now, we look damn good. And I'm not talking about like the Cleveland Browns. They on paper. We already know what we were working with last year. Travis Frederick coming back, Jason Witten coming back. Oh, man, we're looking good over here, brother.
So, in your opinion, who should we pay first then? Since we're talking contract right now, who should we pay? Should we go ahead and pay these guys, or should we wait it out and squeeze it out, or is it just the art of a negotiation deadline make deals? How do you feel about that?
That's a tough situation because when I look right now, we got a lot of guys on this player because we've already did all of our signings. Now, where are we going to get this money to sign the Dak or Cooper right now? That's what I'm curious about. Where's all this money coming from?
Well, it shows that we still have some money available. And then also, I think that once you signed a certain player, it put money back into the kettle, I guess, for the following year. So my thing is, and that's good points there, but my thing is as long as the Cowboys are knowing what they're doing with this whole entire waiting situation, then I think that we are in good graces. It's just a fickle road right now for us to look at everything, but it's just like an old wait and see situation to me, I guess.
Yeah, and it's almost like a no-win situation. Oh, we should have played DeMarcus Lawrence a couple years ago, and then we wouldn't have got paying him that high. Hey, we're here to see what a player can do, and so that's the pros and cons. What if we would have signed him a year or two ago for less, but then he got injured? So it's a really hard gamble there,
It is. It's a really hard gamble. So, and like I said before, I think I said it on another show, whereas if we were to pay D-Law a year earlier, then he wouldn't have gotten the contract that he got now. But the thing is, even if the problem is, I think that the players understand what they're doing. Even if we were to sign him, I guess, a year earlier, right? He could say, well, you know what? I'm not happy with my contract. I'm going to sit out, So it's a fickle road when you pay a guy early or when you pay the guy too late. I just wish the salary cap, if they can just do something else to hold these teams together, but that's the reality of it, unfortunately.
Law, not to interrupt, but am I going crazy here? I went over to the chat area and it says live stream offline.
It probably kicked offline. We probably be back online. Let me double check. Sometime my system kick on and off, man, but we should be back online now. Someone in the chat box.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes in and out, man, for some reason. But you got any other thoughts before you run or before I let you go, what have you?
Right off the bat, brother, you got to be careful about doing the hangout link in the chat because trolls come in. I know you're not in the TTC Track Talk Circle, but there's always some hater, no matter how good or that'll always, maybe you put the link in and then delete it right away. Sometimes we do that. Otherwise, we got to go to where we just email each other the link. And now I'm concerned about on YouTube, they say that Hangouts are going away sometime this year. When you guys do that roundtable, do you guys normally do by Hangouts?
Oh, well, we do it multiple ways. We do it Hangout, or we do it Skype. We got several other ways. But this show today is just open platform for anyone. If they want to come in and say, hey, man, you look like James Harden. Hey, man, you got a booger, But I don't care. I can delete them and kick them out. But I feel what you're saying. I appreciate you, man.
Could I ask you a couple questions?
Go ahead. Talk to me.
Question number one: would you go in? It's gonna be. It's gonna be hard to get it in our 53-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of great players there. Would you go in with 3 quarterbacks?
No way. I wouldn't go in with 3. I'll still roll with 2, and it would be Dak Prescott, of course. And I'm more leaning on towards the Mike Whites of the world. I like his prototypical size. I like his accuracy and delivery of the ball. I think that just as much as we talking about the Dak Prescott improvement, the John Kitna is working out with Dak Prescott, but within the shadows of that same conversation or breath, we talking about Mike White improving, working on his launching points, and also bettering it. Also, if you look at the fact that he should be more knowledgeable of the offense, I'm thinking that we can still roll and get away with 2.
And I think the same thing about, we all know about Rico, and I know about his height, and his weight, and his speed, and his potential. But man, with the 53-man roster, it's hard for me to take 4 tight ends this year.
Yeah, you are correct with that. Now, I'm leaning towards 4, but it all depends on how Jameis Olawale is the quote-unquote wild factor or wild card, meaning that Jameis Olawale, he can line up and do the responsibilities of the tight end duty. So, although he is the fullback, I think that Jameis Olawale, they believe in him. I think they signed him for a 3-year guaranteed $5 million contract. So, I'm thinking that with my small mind, of my small knowledge of the game, is that he can also play the H-back position, and you can eliminate one of the tight ends.
There's a lot of people that they just don't want any fullbacks over here. No, he didn't do anything last year. There's a lot of people that didn't do stuff last year, and we point out that could have been on Linehan. We know our fullback. He was a pass catching fullback. We just never really used him until he had his Jackie Smith moment there.
Right. My thing is, when we start talking about utilizations, right? My thing is, when we look into Jameis Olawale last year and opposed to Scott Linehan, he was only brought out there for a handful of plays. And let me see if I can pull. I think his total snaps were like 16 to 17. That's not enough snaps for us to do a full evaluation of said player. And then the snaps that he was able to get or receive, everybody, mama, uncle, cousin know that he dropped the ball down there in Indianapolis and against the Colts, what have you. But if you look at his total utilization, it's not enough to evaluate. But I'm thinking that the reason why they trust him over Rod Smith is because he somehow exhibits something out there during practice, something that we just don't see, that I'm thinking that Kellen Moore is saying to himself, I can utilize Jameis Olawale.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Kellen Moore, I can use this guy. But like I said, when it comes to that 53, hey, maybe there's a more important person there to take that spot, right? And then as far as running back that can catch out of the backfield, well, we all know Zeke, he's a catching maniac. And then with Pollard joining the team, Tavon Austin, who, wide receiver / running back who can catch. And, people even talk about, Cobb could even go back there. So, do we really want a fullback that can just catch the ball?
Well, not necessarily catch. I'm thinking that Jameis Olawale is a poor man's Keith Smith, but he can still lead block. I think that he, in a pinch situation, if you need to go heavy, if you need to have that, the red zone threat, you'll put in Jameis Olawale opposed to not having your bigger, opposed to just having light backup or light backs of duties assignments out there. I'm thinking that that's what they're leaning more towards.
Anyway, I like what you did today, inviting other YouTubers on here. I'll stay if you want. I'll go if you want. It's up to you, but hey, this is South of Heaven 88, Mike Mosh over here. I'll type in the chat my link if anybody wants to hit me up. And I appreciate you having me. And like I said, I can stay, I can go. It's your show, but thanks for having me on. I greatly appreciate
No,
you
no,
also.
no, 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 no. I would like to say this. You one of the mods there, and let people know where they can find you, as far as all of your platforms, and let people know where to go when they want to tune in to your content, your channel.
I appreciate that. I'll go get my link right now. I am Mike Mosh on Twitter, and Mike Mosh 88 on Instagram. And as always, diehard Cowboy fan here. Here's my link. I'll pop it in the chat right now. I'm South of Heaven 88 on YouTube. Everybody knows me as Mosh. I do the Cowboy Jabu jerseys for Mark Holmes, and been here going back to '07 on YouTube. Believe it or not, I seen. The Dallas Cowboys show, Shango, and I seen Halen 88, man. Two of the founding fathers of talking sports in general, talking Cowboys in general on YouTube. And I'm like, man, I'm going to cam up, and I'm a big diehard Cowboy fan, and I've been here ever since.
Yes, indeed, man. I really appreciate you, man, especially for giving me some advice down the line and all those good things. So check him out, and especially Cowboy Nation, if you guys want some gear and all that stuff, hit him up. Hit him up.
Thank you, Law Nation. Salute, and I will catch you next time, brother.
Yes, indeed, fam. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining the nation, man. Salute. That's what I'm talking about, Cowboy Nation. My channel is a free-flowing platform, man. I know we get a lot of people who would think that they'll jump on here and try to talk all of that noise. So if anybody want to talk trash, feel free to jump in, and you can get this word actions from me as well. Or, we could just talk it out and settle it out like grown man. That's what we supposed to do, right, Cowboy Nation? And anybody else out there who's watching this channel, good and well, that we don't back down from anywhere. We don't fold up like lawn chairs. We do not fold up like wallets. We are the Cowboy Nation, and my name is LAW Nation, Law Nation. So we was talking a little bit about the contracts, and appreciate Mike Marsh for jumping in. He got all this great stuff. South of Heaven 88, man. He got some good information for us out there. Now, we all have different opinions. We all have different views of life. But that's what make us unique. That what make us a wonderful environment, a wonderful utopia, a wonderful whatever you want to put into those mix, because we all are different. It would be crazy if everybody looked like me, right? What's this? Williams, appreciate you, man. My cowboy fiance says, low key, I miss Keith Smith. You know what Keith Smith is doing? And I'm glad you mentioned Keith Smith. And shout out to Jackie Smith as well, Miss Jackie. Keith Smith, when he comes into Dallas, he's still utilizing the Star facility. We need to tell Keith Smith to get up out of there. You know what I mean? Don't be utilizing our resources to help your team out there in Raiderland. Man, dude, appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. So we're gonna jump back over here to we was doing what, pro football. Pro Football Reference. I'll make sure I don't say Pro Football Focus. I don't want to give them any love and adulation, because we already know how we feel about Pro Football Focus. But if we look at the comparisons of Amari Cooper, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, and like I said before, this is not a pass-first offense. But Michael Thomas's of the world's got the numbers, man, 125 receptions. That's crazy, huh? Julio Jones, 113 and 75 for Amari Cooper. And like I said, there's 50 receptions in between. And we would say on the low end, man, we will be happy if our number 2 receiver get 50 receptions, or our number 3 receiver get 50 receptions, or what have you. And if we look at the yards, 1,677 for Julio Jones, 1,405 for Michael Thomas, and 1,000 yards for Amari Cooper. I can argue this from here to the high heavens, right? And we can talk about this. I would say if Amari Cooper was plugged in with a Drew Brees, or with also a Matt Ryan, who's a pass first team, I guarantee you, or if Amari Cooper played all of the year last year with Dak Prescott, I could bet you my bottom dollar would be more than 1,000 yards, right? And it'll be more than 7 touchdowns. But that's a story of a different day. And if you look at the yards per receptions, we're looking at Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, and then you're looking at the bottom of this list, Michael Thomas. Where are you going with this, Law? What I'm saying is, and this is all of me creating a recipe or creating an example of why you go ahead and pay Amari Cooper now, opposed to waiting for this guy to get that $22 million, which everybody, like I said, got paid above the market value. Yes, Adam Hunter, what's good, man? Appreciate you for tuning in to the nation, man. Adam Hunter, Kia, I think that's how you say your name. What's up, Law? Kelly Moore will open up the passing game in the entire offense. This is from Fever. Yeah, Slow Fever. Appreciate you. Look at those touchdowns, Law. Who cares about yards? This is Jay. Oh, yeah. Who in the world care about the yards? So it's what you're doing with the yards in between, right? So if you look at the touchdowns or what have you, yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point. 7 touchdowns for Amari Cooper, and then you look at 8 touchdowns for Julio Jones, and then you look up another. Let me see. I think he had 8 touchdowns. I think it'd be better if I go here. There you go. He had 9 touchdowns, and if you think about what my guy Jay is talking about, the average attempts, and I'm thinking that Pro Football Reference needs to put in the attempts or the targets, because this guy had all of those targets. Amen. Can I get an amen? But out of the targets, he only had 9 touchdowns, or out of those targets, he only had 1,400 yards. So when you start looking at with more, you're looking at Amari Cooper. And if you think about it, if you really think about it collectively, this guy had 1 less game than both of these guys right here. 15 games opposed to 16. So now we start looking at the numbers and saying, okay, if you add in the fact that if Amari Cooper had maybe another game, then you can probably throw in the fact that he could have had 2 touchdowns in that game or 1 touchdown or what have you. So it's a fickle process, and I will try to probably pull up the numbers on another factor one day. But we was just looking at all these things, man, earlier, and this is on my Instagram here. And my thing is, this was the report. Michael Thomas looking for $22 million, and I said Amari Cooper being patient with his contract talk for a good reason. I see why. Amari Cooper is not concerned about his contract situation, because now these wide receivers are going to give quarterback money. And if I even try or dare, let me just do this right here, because I know the market value has increased. Because originally it was like around 22, 23, and then the market has switched. And let me see what the market value for Dak Prescott. We can start talking about a little bit of Dak Prescott. It's 29.4. 29.4, and it's comparable to a Russell Wilson's and a Carson Wentz and the Kirk Cousins and the Jimmy Garoppolo. But I'm looking at these 2 things right here. These are the older contracts that were signed in 2015 to 16 to 17, cut off, and then 2018 and 19 and beyond. You start to look in these type of ways, 29, 30, 40, and that's when 40 is going to be around the Pat Mahomes and the next contract for Andrew Luck, I believe. So that's how we got to look at it. What else we have here? Zeke is in his prime example. His yards are based on simple math attempts. Zeke was the leading rusher for 20th in scoring, but 20th in scoring. So that's another thing. That's another thing. I'm glad that you brought that up with Ezekiel Elliott. Let me see if I can pull up Ezekiel Elliott. And we're going to put up Elliott. I guarantee you should pull up from here. Elliott. Shouldn't be that many Elliots in the world, right? Jerome Elliott. All right, so if you look at his market value, there's no way on God's green earth, I believe, or blue, that they're going to pay him 9.4. No way. And if you add in the fact that what Todd Gurley got, this for 14.3, and Devontae Freeman, you can argue that, the Jerick McKinnon, you can argue that, the David. See, these are the 2 outliers. David Johnson's contract of $13 million and Todd Gurley contract of $14.5 million. I just don't see the Cowboys or Ezekiel Elliott camp saying, okay, I'm going to sign with a 9.4. Now, to get back to my boy Jay's point over here, and I got to talk about this, Jay. Do you believe, Jay, and this is me talking for real, do you believe that Michael Thomas, he caught 125 passes, right? And I think 9 touchdowns, and we started looking into his information. Do you think that he would get those numbers if there was not a Drew Brees out there? Is he that type of a sick wide receiver out there that you can just throw any quarterback out there and he will garner those type of numbers? And I'm not trying to say that Michael Thomas is not a dog, is not a beast, but to me, when I look at his tape, he's okay with route running. He can run a few routes here and there. Now he can jump ball. He can get separation at the top of his route using his strength. And on top of that, we saw that when you pair him up with another bigger corner that he's unheard of, a la Byron Jones of the world. So do you believe that this wide receiver should get quarterback money, opposed to Ezekiel Elliott getting wide receivers money? Let me know, man. Put that down in the comment box, man, for me. Help me out, Jay. Help me out. Howell, appreciate you, man. Letting people know. Hit that like button. Appreciate you letting people know where to go. Who else we have here? Riley. He says, let's go, Cowboy Nation. And J Form, Slow Fever 512 says, quit hating. Oh, okay. I want to see Zach Nation. I heard Amari was working on the jump ball. This is the thing. I like Amari trying to work on different situations within his game, but I'm thinking that when you are a nuanced route runner, you're going to be open. You don't have to worry about jumping off for the ball that much. Law Thomas is because it's funny, my last name is Thomas, so when you put Law Thomas, I'm like, dog, you know my real name. But he says he's a product of Drew Brees. So, all right, so Michael Thomas is a product of Drew Brees. So is Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott, is a product of let me see. He can't be. Now, we know that Ezekiel is not a product of the offensive line, right? He was able to exhibit that in Ohio State. And then on top of that, we had a broken down offensive line for the last 2 years. So are you saying that Ezekiel is a product of just purely attempts? And that's why when we get to the money zone, green zone, red zone, is that the reason why we can't score is because of Ezekiel Elliott? Or was that because of the product of the offensive line? Or was that the product of Scott Linehan? Or if in small factors, in other ways, was that a product of Dak Prescott? Because now to me personally, I know some people that's in this chat box right now. Some people in this chat box, and I'm going to try to do short to 12 o'clock. So if those who really want to jump in to correct me, man, please do, man. And just hit that link down below. You just got to have a Google, a Gmail account, whatever, to allow you to sign in with Hangouts, whatever, how that thing go. But I know for people that sit there and say that Ezekiel Elliott, with only 6 touchdowns, there's somebody in the chat box can say to themselves, man, just throw me some Madden plays, man. I can get this man more than 6 touchdowns in the red zone, money zone. How many jump balls did Larry Fitzgerald? This is from Williams here, have in his prime of his career. Amari Cooper is in his prime. That's a good question. Larry Fitzgerald compared to Amari Cooper. We can do that right now. Get in there, my Cowboys family. Okay. Somebody say, get in there. Get in there. All right. So we're going to, whoever jump in, just jump in. And I'm going to pull up this Amari Cooper versus, and Larry Fitzgerald, and we're gonna look up that so that we can. And then I know that this thing does not break down jump balls for some reasons. I don't know if people really record jump balls. Are you in here?
What's
Somebody.
up, Law?
What's up? What's going on with you?
No, thanks for, opening this up, having it on here, happen to pop in and hear you talking about some of this stuff. And I think one of the big points about the Amari Cooper thing is, and you brought it up too, we aren't the type of passing team the way the Saints are. We don't have Drew Brees. We run a different system here. So it's even more difficult having a receiver of Amari Cooper's caliber and justifying saying, hey, we're going to throw all this money at you. You know what I mean? It's a little harder for him to come in here and negotiate that because of the fact that we aren't such a passing team. But at the end of the day, we need a receiver. We need a number one wide receiver. And I think that he is the guy. So it's just going to be hard finding a number, again, so between that 22 million and everything else we've been hearing, specific to, the way that he's going to fit on this team.
Yeah, so that was my whole thought of if I'm looking at it if I'm Amari Cooper's agent, right? And my main goal and my main philosophy will be just like if you're going to buy a house, it's for me to find the best house for you, right? To find the best community for you to raise your kids and how close it is to your school or work or what have you. So that's what the agent's responsibilities to do, right? So if I'm Amari Cooper's agent, the first contract that I'm going to look up is Michael Thomas. I'm going to look up Michael Thomas' contract and say, okay, then I'm going to start pulling up his numbers compared to my client numbers. And I'm going to say, if he's demanding $22 million, then my client deserves at least 21, you see.
Yeah, and the problem
or he can
is,
say
like
23.
Yeah, like you said, Cooper was only with us for half a season. So Cooper's agent might have a lot more negotiating room saying, look at this entire season with Dak Prescott. The Cowboys are saying, yeah, you had a great, fantastic 8 games with Dak Prescott. But again, that's half a season. A lot of people are still, we had someone in our chat saying they were concerned because Amari Cooper with the Raiders, when he was good, he was good. But when he was bad, he was bad. And they're worried that signing him now, long-term like this, that we're going to see him have, again, either a very fantastic, great year or just another very lackluster, low performance year. But the connection between Dak and Cooper, I think, is much better than it ever was with Derek Carr and Cooper.
Yes, indeed. So, and I'm glad that you called in because when we start looking at this and we started to think about, man, if the Cowboys were to once the season was over with, to reach in their pocket, because at that time, 17 million was I heard a lot of Cowboy fans like, oh no,
yeah,
17
before
million
this
too
Michael
much money.
Thomas number, the numbers that we were hearing from Amari Cooper were very, very different.
So that's what I'm saying now is that now if we waiting for so long, because it's crazy if once the season was over with last year and it's the same situation moving over to Dak Prescott, if we were to just go ahead and pay them 28, 29 million, then the market would have been reset and everybody would have been like, okay, man, that's too much money. Because remember, all of the national media, everybody, mama, uncle, cousin was talking about, hey, he deserved to get only 20 million. You remember that? You remember people was 20 to 25 million? Now you move the number up all the way to 30 to 35 million. And that's because the market has moved because Russell Wilson reset the market. That market is crazy.
Exactly. So I understand, again, it's kind of with the tank thing. I understand why the Cowboys weren't 100% ready maybe to start working out a deal or to put a number to Dak immediately at the end of the season. But now we're seeing the results of that. Now we're going to pay $5 million, $6 million, $7 million more for Dak when it feels like the team was already sold on Dak being their quarterback. So it is what it is. But, I think Jay Farm B said it, when we have Jones running the front office, as much as I appreciate the improvements the front office has made, I'm a little wary about how long they're taking to sign some of these big pieces when we need them so desperately.
Yes. So we don't know who's going to be the person that's going to be the odd man out, but if I'm a betting man, it could be number 31, and I don't.
Yeah, that's my feeling. Again, unless they do a Carson Wentz where he goes from there's nothing going on with this contract to all of a sudden he's signed. It feels very strange that the Cowboys haven't even discussed an extension with Byron Jones, even approached him, and they've approached Jalen Smith, who we don't even have to worry about for another 2 years. So it shows me the direction that the Cowboys are going, and the fact that they drafted Tristan Hill as well shows you that, again, they're investing in the defensive line, and the secondary is secondary, and they're willing to take the chance on losing Byron Jones than to lose the chance of having their D-line deteriorate. So an off-season moves too, like Robert Quinn, kind of shows me that that's their general feeling as of now. So we'll have to see if that ends up producing.
Yes, and we look at these contracts from these angles too. You look at it from Robert Quinn, 1 year rental. Randall Cobb, 1 year rental. So we're going to have to do something down the line, whether it's to like, okay, it's a wait and see moment. Then we go back to negotiations from there. But there's the reason why they got these guys on 1 year rentals, but somebody's going to get that axe.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe one of them does end up staying long term. Like, for example, let's say Randall Cobb does have a good year with us and manages to stay healthy. You know, and again, I'm not saying specifically Randall Cobb. I'm just saying that with some of these 1 year rentals, as much as I think that they are stopgaps and just, you know, obviously a piece to use now for this year, and next year we're going to have a different plan. I wouldn't be surprised if even one of these guys ends up staying, depending on how they produce and how everything works out this year. And of course, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. Yeah, he's the glue that holds everything together. So we got about 5 minutes before I counsel and close out this entire show. But I want to let people know where they can find you and all this good stuff. So to let people know on all the platforms you guys are on.
Yeah, guys, my Cowboys family here. I'm just the better half of of the duo here. But fiance and I, we go live every night, guys. Cowboy news, Cowboy info, talking Cowboys all the time. Find us at My Cowboys Family on every social media platform, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. But never forget the number one thing.
Go Cowboys! Hit it right on the money.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to do it. Yes, indeed, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Salute. Follow My Cowboy Family. Man, they got a lot of information for the nation, man. And Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate each and every last one of you all for jumping in and tuning in. But before I go, I'm just going to do the quick comparisons of, I think, Larry Fitz and Amari Cooper. And I'm going to jump on out of here myself because we got a lot of things to do on this beautiful, and I'm talking about beautiful Saturday in Dallas. Boy, we got a lot of things going on. So I really appreciate those who were able to jump into this show today. And I thank those who was also able to communicate and talk to me on the airways and beyond. It's always a positive feeling knowing that I could just go live and I can have some quality people to call in or jump into the show and leave me their thoughts and leave me their concerns of this team. And like I said, we all don't agree on the same topics, but that what make us great, right? That what make us unique in a sense, whereas let me see, Larry Fitzgerald. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Did Larry Fitzgerald start? Yeah, he started his first year, right? That will make us unique and wonderful. I'm just going to do the first 3 years because I think, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many years it is? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't shortchange them. 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4th. And we're going to go right here. We're going to look at Larry numbers. The Larry numbers should be crazy. Larry numbers should be crazy, and that will make us unique, guys. Having different thoughts, different views of everything. All right, so we're gonna look rushing. And we don't need rushing, but we want to look at receptions. Fitz, this is no comparison. Fitz, I remember Fitz getting about 110, 125 receptions, and if you look at the yards per game, 4,544 yards, touchdowns, 34 touchdowns opposed to 25. But on a per game basis, I hate that they put rushing first, but receptions, he averaged 5.5 receptions per game within his first 4 years, 4.6 for Amari Cooper in yards. 75.7, 64.1. So he's in the shadows in every category of Larry Fitz. And Larry Fitz, man, let me see if I can find him on this thing, man. I think I can find better stats from like Fitz. Let me see. I can't spell today for some reason. There we go. I think that they do a better job. SpokeTrack.com. You guys can find out all of that information for the nation there. Or you can go all the way down. They don't keep snap records and all that stuff. It started in 2012. They didn't keep targets. But all right, so his 20, and they don't even have the 04-05 season in here as well. So the stats, that shows you and tells you how long this guy been in the league. Some of you guys, man, in 2006 were still in probably kindergarten and fifth grade and stuff like that, right? It's 2019 now, But neither here nor there. He caught 69 passes. Well, 69 passes. Then he had 100. See, this 07 season, 08, 09 Fitz. Boy, he was Fitz all the way. You didn't even have to say Gerald. You just say Fitz. He was putting up Fitz, man. And, of course, we can go to the scenario and the philosophy of teams being passed first, because the team that he was on, they didn't think about running the ball. They throwing that ball everywhere. See, 13.7, 14, 11, or 12. This guy, his whole entire career, averaged over pretty much 9 yards per reception. That's a crazy, weird number. And then last year, of course, 69 receptions. That's how many out of how many games? 16 games. That's not bad. Man, not bad at all. This is crazy, too. When you talk about hands, aficionado, 80 receptions here. This is when they start recording drops or what have you. 3. He had 5 drops in 2012 out of 71 receptions. That's kind of high for him. 1 drop for a whole entire year in 2013. 1 drop in 2014. 3 drops. But look at the receptions. 109 receptions for 3 drops. That's not bad. 4 and 4. So the guy's a sure hands catcher. Catch the ball. Good guy. He can run anywhere within the 35 years old. Oh, he's still young, boy. I wish I was 35, right? But neither here nor there. This is the thing, Cowboy Nation. And we look at everything from A to Z. Amari Cooper, for us, I think that he's a crucial, beneficial to our whole entire team. And I like what he brings up, man, for us, man. Amari Cooper is just nasty for us. For us now, for us, not for anyone else. He's nasty enough for us, and I'm glad and I praise to God that he's on our team. We just got to figure out ways to sign him for a long-term deal, anywhere from 4 to 5 years. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Let me know. No, Law he just turned 36. Okay. Yeah. I'm just playing with y'all. So, hey, Cowboy Nation, man, really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the Nation, man. As we talk a little bit about the sports talk and beyond, and people jumping in and stuff like that. It's always a pleasure, man. Always a plus from listening in to you guys' conversation and stuff like that. Let me see. Bam, thing should be pulled up now. There we go. Yeah, I got the conversation log on the blog now. All right, so thank y'all. Oh, got another donation to help grow the nation. Williams and Rel, appreciate you, man. Help grow the nation. Peace. Yes, man. Thank you so much for that, man. And with that being said, let's stand to our feet, man. Let's stand to our feet because we're gonna do this. Yes, one way or another, we continue to fight. Prize fighter still, even when he's down, even when he's out, he continues to swing and throw those blows because we know for sure. We're gonna be back on this thing, one way or another, right? Want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If all of your desires, if it makes you quite mad at it, you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all of the things tawdry and cheap, and life itself seems empty and useless as without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it. If you're glad to go out and sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all terror, God or man for it. If you're just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and orgasm, faith, hope, and confidence. Strong turn and mastery. Let's go. Yes. tell them. And remember, you all are listening to absolutely nothing but the best. Salute. We out, baby. We out. Appreciate y'all. Now it's time for me to do some daddy things, right? Let's go get those 6 rings, baby.